Next question is from Grace Verelle from the University of Antwerp.
Yes. Very good evening, Professor Harari. My name is Grace, and I study French and Spanish at the University of Antwerp. And my initial mindset on studying languages was that a socialized human being like us should at least master one or two to be able to interact with the world around us. But if I interpret what you write in your books correctly, namely that AI will eventually translate better than any human can, I start thinking that what I do has no more economic value or benefit on the job market. So what I would like to ask you is, what I do, is it still relevant, and how do I prefer for my future?
It's an important question. Is studying relevant?
Yeah, so again, there are several levels here. On the one hand, studying a language is not just for economic benefits. Okay, I can work as a translator. You also learn a lot. You have a different perspective on life. So it's not just about the economic benefits. If you more narrowly focus just about the question of jobs, then this is a much broader question, not just about translators. There are a lot of jobs that people do today, that people learn, study how to do this job today, that might disappear within 20 years. The fact is that nobody knows what the job market would look like in 20 years. It's the first time in history that we are in this situation. My best advice is that it's dangerous to focus on a narrow skill and put all your hopes on that, like to learn a human language or to code in a computer language or to drive a truck or anything like that could be automated in the next 20, 30 years. So the most important skills in the 21st century are how to constantly learn new things, how to reinvent yourself throughout your life. So I would say that for that you need a lot of emotional intelligence and mental flexibility. These are maybe the most important skills, because the one thing we know for sure about the job market of 2040 or 2050 is that it will be very volatile. The idea of a single career for life, I have one job for my entire life, is probably completely obsolete. So people will need to reinvent themselves again and again, and that demands not just the capacity to learn throughout life, but a lot of emotional intelligence and mental flexibility.
But is every human being able to do that, to be that flexible throughout his or her life? That's the difficulty.
I mean, we need to incorporate this into educational systems today, not in 2040. In 2040, it will be too late. And that's very difficult. It's much more difficult to teach emotional intelligence than dates of battles in history. It's much more difficult to teach mental flexibility than an equation in physics. So again, like with regard to the previous questions, we shouldn't be naive. It's going to be very difficult, and the danger is that a lot of people will remain behind, especially in developing countries. A relatively prosperous country like Belgium will probably be able to invest in retraining people and also helping them to cope psychologically with the difficulties of transitioning again and again. But many countries around the world might not be able to do it. So the really big problem, I think, is on the global level of rising global inequalities. The countries which will benefit the most from the automation revolution and the AI revolution will do extremely well, but other countries could completely collapse. And this will, of course, affect everybody, not just these countries.